Hello. If you're here, if you clicked on this video, there's a reason, and I know what it is. You're tired, deeply tired, the kind of tired that doesn't go away after a good night's sleep, the kind of tired that's settled into your bones, your chest, your soul. And maybe you've scrolled past dozens of videos before landing here, searching for something, searching for someone who understands, searching for a reason to keep going, or simply searching for a moment of peace in the chaos that your life has become. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Not because you're going to find magical answers, not because I'm going to fix everything, but because for this next hour you're going to have permission to stop, to breathe, to simply be without pressure, without judgment, without having to be strong. This isn't another video telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. It's not another voice screaming at you to give your best when you have nothing left to give. It's not someone else telling you to just think positive and everything will be fine. No, this is a space where you can be tired, where you can be sad, where you can be confused, lost, scared, where you cannot know what to do next. And that's okay, because the truth is that life has been hard on you. And I see you. I see you even when no one else does. I see the weight you carry. I see how you try to hide it. I see how you smile when inside you're falling apart. And today, for this hour, you don't have to hide. You don't have to pretend. You can be exactly who you are right now, with all your confusion, with all your pain, with all your imperfect beauty. So, before we truly begin this journey together, I'd like you to do something for yourself, something small but important. If you're standing, sit down. If you can, lie down. Find a comfortable position. Let your body relax. You don't need to have perfect posture. You don't need to be alert. You can sink into the couch, the bed, the floor, wherever you are. Close your eyes if you feel safe to do so, or leave them gently open, unfocused on anything specific, and breathe. Just breathe. Inhale slowly through your nose. Feel the cool air coming in, and release through your mouth. Let go of everything that's been stuck inside you. One more time. Inhale. Feel your chest expanding. Feel that you're still here, still alive. And release with a sigh. If you want to, let your shoulders drop. Let the tension leave. That's it. Just like that. You're doing so well. You know, right now, somewhere in the world, there's someone listening to this with you. Someone who feels exactly like you do. Someone who's also tired, also questioning, also trying to find strength for tomorrow. You're not alone. Even if you feel completely isolated, even if you think no one understands, there are thousands of us scattered across this world, trying to survive our own silences. And here, in this space we're creating together, there's room for you, all the room you need. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen in this next hour. It won't be easy. I won't lie to you. We're going to cross territories you may have been avoiding. We're going to look at things that hurt. We're going to name feelings you've kept buried. We're going to talk about exhaustion, that deep existential exhaustion that makes even the smallest tasks feel like climbing mountains. We're going to acknowledge it, not push through it, not ignore it, but actually see it, honor it, because it's real and it matters. We're going to explore difficult emotions, the anger you've been swallowing, the fur that keeps you paralyzed at 3 a.m., the frustration of feeling stuck, the sadness that sits heavy in your chest, the anxiety that never quite leaves, and we're going to let them be there. We're not going to fight them. We're not going to shame ourselves for feeling them. We're just going to let them exist. Let them breathe. Let them speak. Because emotions aren't the enemy. Suppressing them is what's exhausting you. We're going to talk about shame, that quiet, insidious shame that whispers you're not enough, that you should be further along, that you should be better, stronger, more successful, more together. And we're going to gently, so gently, start to release it. Start to see it for what it is. A lie, a story, something that was never true, but that you believed because you were taught to. We're going to talk about self-worth, about how you've been looking for it in all the wrong places, in other people's approval, in achievements, in being useful, in being needed, in making yourself small so others feel big. And we're going to just start to rebuild it from within. To remember that your worth isn't something you earn, it's something you already have, something you've always had. And then, when we've sat with the hard stuff, when we've acknowledged the pain, we're going to find something else. Not toxic positivity, not false hope, not empty platitudes, but genuine, quiet, resilient hope. The kind that doesn't ignore reality, but sees possibility within it. The kind that says, yes, this is hard, and I can take one more step. We're going to find gentle motivation, not the kind that screams, but the kind that whispers, the kind that says you don't have to change your whole life tomorrow. You just have to try again. One small thing, one breath, one choice. And I want you to know something really important before we go any deeper. There is no pressure here, none. You don't have to feel better by the end of this video. You don't have to be healed. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to suddenly be motivated and ready to conquer the world. This video, it's not here to fix you, because you're not broken. This video is here to hold you, to sit with you, to remind you that you're not alone, to give you permission to feel everything you've been trying not to feel. If all you do for this next hour is breathe, that's enough. If all you do is cry, that's valid. If all you do is rest, that's exactly what you need. There's no right way to experience this, no wrong way to feel. You can pause this video at any time. You can come back to it later. You can listen to parts of it over and over if you need to. You can skip sections that feel too heavy. This is yours. Use it however serves you best. So take one more deep breath with me. Inhale and release. Feel your body against whatever surface is holding you. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the air around you. You are here in this moment. And for right now, this moment is all you need to handle. Not tomorrow, not next week, not the rest of your life. Just this moment, this breath, this second. And in this moment, you are safe. You are held. You are exactly where you need to be. So let's begin. Let's walk through this together, gently, honestly, with compassion. You're not alone anymore. I'm here with you. Let's breathe and let's begin. Let's start with the truth. You're exhausted, and I don't mean the kind of tired where you just need a nap. I don't mean the kind where a vacation or a weekend off would fix things. I mean bone-deep exhaustion, soul exhaustion, the kind that makes you wake up already tired, the kind that makes even simple things feel impossible. Getting out of bed feels like lifting a weight. Taking a shower feels like a marathon. Answering a text message feels like climbing a mountain. And you look at other people moving through their days and wonder, how are they doing it? What am I missing? You've been running on empty for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to be full. You've been pushing through for so long that you've forgotten what it means to rest. Really rest. Not to just collapse at the end of the day, but actual nourishing rest. And the worst part, you feel guilty about it. You look at your life and think, I shouldn't be this tired. Other people have it worse. Other people are managing. What's wrong with me? But let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. When was the last time you weren't carrying something heavy? When was the last time you woke up without worry already sitting on your chest? When was the last time you went through a full day without forcing yourself through it? When was the last time you felt light? I'm guessing you can't remember, because it's been so long since you felt like yourself, so long since things felt manageable, so long since you had energy, not just to survive, but to actually live. You've been in survival mode, maybe for weeks, maybe for months, maybe for years, just getting through each day, just making it to the next morning, just holding it together long enough that no one notices you're falling apart. And you're so good at it now, so good at the mask, so good at saying I'm fine when someone asks, so good at functioning when inside you're screaming for a break. But your body knows. Your body is keeping score. It knows about the sleep you're not getting, the meals you're skipping or forcing down without tasting, the tension you're holding in your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach, the stress hormones constantly flooding your system. Your body is tired of being in emergency mode, tired of the constant vigilance, tired of bracing for the next thing to go wrong. And maybe you've tried to rest. Maybe you've taken a day off, laid in bed, tried to relax, but you couldn't because your mind wouldn't stop. The anxiety wouldn't quiet. The guilt crept in. You should be doing something. You're wasting time. You're being lazy. So you got up. You pushed through again, because that's what you always do. But here's what no one tells you about exhaustion. It's not just physical. It's not just mental. It's emotional. It's spiritual. It's the exhaustion of caring when nothing changes, of trying when nothing works, of hoping when hope keeps getting crushed. It's the exhaustion of pretending to be okay, of holding space for everyone else's emotions while yours pile up unprocessed, of being the strong one, the reliable one, the one who always manages. It's the exhaustion of carrying old pain, unresolved grief, unspoken words, unhealed wounds, things you thought you'd moved past, but that still weigh on you in ways you can't quite name. You're tired of fighting, tired of pushing, tired of the constant effort it takes just to keep your head above water. And somewhere along the way, you started feeling lost. Lost in your own life. Lost in routines that don't fulfill you. Lost in relationships that don't nourish you. Lost in a version of yourself that you don't recognize anymore. You look around and think, is this it? Is this all there is? Because if this is what life is, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And that thought, that thought scares you because you're not sure if you mean it and you're not sure what to do with it. So you push it down. You keep going. You tell yourself you're being dramatic. You tell yourself it will get better. You tell yourself you just need to be stronger. But the exhaustion doesn't go away. It just gets heavier. So right now, in this moment, I want you to stop trying to push it away. Stop trying to be stronger than you feel. Stop trying to convince yourself you're fine when you're not. Just acknowledge it. Let it be real. Say it out loud if you can, or just think it, or just feel it. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. Let those words exist. Don't judge them. Don't minimize them. Don't follow them with, but I shouldn't feel this way. Just let them be true because they are true. You've been carrying so much for so long without rest, without relief, without anyone really seeing just how heavy your load is. And you've been doing it alone, even when surrounded by people, because exhaustion, this kind of exhaustion, is lonely. It's isolating because no one can see it, no one can measure it, and most people don't understand it. They say, just rest, like it's that simple. They say, take care of yourself, like you haven't been trying. They say, it'll get better, like time alone heals everything. But you know, it's not that simple. You know that rest doesn't fix everything when the problems are still there when you wake up. You know that self-care doesn't work when you're too exhausted to even know what you need anymore. So I'm not going to tell you those things. I'm just going to sit here with you in this exhaustion, in this heaviness, in this feeling of being completely depleted. I'm going to tell you that it's okay to be this tired, that it makes sense, that you're not weak, that you're not failing. You're human. You're a human who has been through things, who is going through things, who has been asked to carry more than any person should carry. And you're still here, still breathing, still trying. That's not nothing. So for right now, just breathe with me. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to figure out how to have energy you don't have. Just be tired. Be as tired as you are. Let your body feel heavy. Let your eyes feel heavy. Let your heart feel heavy. It's okay. You're safe here. You can be exhausted here. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. This weight you've been carrying, I see it. I acknowledge it. And I'm telling you, it's okay to put it down, even just for a moment, even just for this breath. Inhale, and as you exhale, let your body sink a little deeper. Let go of the effort to hold yourself up. Let go of the tension. Let go of the need to be okay. You're allowed to be exhausted. You're allowed to to be lost. You're allowed to not know what to do next. You're allowed to be exactly where you are. And we're going to stay here for a moment, in this acknowledgement, in this truth. Because before we can move forward, before we can talk about healing or hope or any of that, we need to honor this. We need to see it. We need to let it be real. You're exhausted, and that's okay. You're here, and that's enough. Breathe. Just breathe. You're doing so well. And now that we've acknowledged how tired you are, there's something else we need to talk about. Something that's been happening inside your mind, inside that space between your ears where no one else can see the chaos, the constant, relentless noise, the thoughts that spiral, the voice that never stops criticizing, the doubt that seeps into everything. You know what I'm talking about. And the moment you wake up, your mind, it won't quiet down. It won't stop analyzing, questioning, replaying, predicting, catastrophizing. Every conversation gets replayed 100 times. Why did I say that? What did they think? Did I sound stupid? Did I mess up? Every decision becomes a mountain. What if I choose wrong? What if this ruins everything? What if I regret this? Every moment of stillness gets filled with worry. What should I be doing? Why aren't I further along? What's wrong with me? And underneath all of it, underneath every spiraling thought, there's one question that keeps coming back. Am I enough? Am I smart enough? Successful enough? Attractive enough? Interesting enough? Productive enough? Good enough? And the answer your mind keeps giving you is no, not yet, not quite. Maybe if you try harder, maybe if you fix this, maybe if you become that, but never just as you are right now. So you've been running from that feeling, running from that fear, trying to prove it wrong. You push yourself, you set goals, you make lists, you promise yourself that tomorrow you'll be better, more disciplined, more focused, more enough. But then tomorrow comes, and you don't do the things you promised yourself you do. You procrastinate, you scroll, you distract yourself, you find a million reasons why not today, not yet, when things are better, when you're more ready, when you have more energy. And then the shame spiral starts. Why can't I just do it? Why is everyone else capable and I'm not? What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? You beat yourself up. You call yourself lazy, undisciplined, a failure, and the weight gets heavier. Because the truth is, you're not procrastinating because you're lazy. You're procrastinating because you're terrified. Terrified of trying and failing. Terrified of giving your all and it's still not being enough. terrified of being seen and judged, terrified of proving that awful voice in your head right. So you don't try, or you half try, or you try in ways that give you an excuse. I didn't really give it my all, so it doesn't count if it doesn't work out. It's safer that way, to never fully commit, to never fully show up, because then when things don't work out, at least you can tell yourself it's because you didn't really try. But that safety, it comes at a cost, doesn't it? Because part of you knows you're holding back. Part of you knows you're playing small. And that part, it's disappointed, it's frustrated, it's screaming at you to just take the leap. But you can't, because the other part, the scared part, is so loud, so convincing, so sure that taking that leap will end in disaster. And then there's the perfectionism. Oh, the perfectionism. That voice that says if you can't do it perfectly, don't do it at all. If you can't give 100%, what's the point? If the outcome might be messy or imperfect, better not to start. So you wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of yourself who has it all together and knows exactly what to do. But that moment never comes. That person never arrives. And meanwhile, life is passing, time is moving, and you're standing still, waiting to be ready. Can I tell you something? Something you might not want to hear, but need to. You're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel perfect. You're never going to have it all figured out. And that voice in your head, the one telling you you're not enough, it's lying to you. It's always been lying to you. That voice isn't truth. It's fear wearing a mask of protection. It's your mind trying to keep you safe by keeping you small, by keeping you from risking anything that might hurt. But in protecting you from potential pain, it's also protecting you from potential life. So right now, can we do something together? Can we just acknowledge that chaos, that noise? Can we see it for what it is? Close your eyes if they're not already closed, and just notice. Notice the thoughts. Don't try to change them. Don't try to stop them. Don't judge yourself for having them. Just notice. I'm not good enough. There it is. I'm behind where I should be. There it is. I'll probably mess this up too. There it is. And now, as you notice each thought, imagine it's not you thinking it. Imagine it's just a thought passing through, like a cloud passing through the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the one noticing the thoughts. And that doubt, that fear of not being enough, it doesn't define you. It's something you experience, but it's not who you are. Who you are is underneath all of that, underneath the noise, underneath the chaos, underneath the fear. Who you are is the awareness, the presence, the part of you that's been listening to all of this and recognizing it as true. And that part of you, that part is already enough, has always been enough, doesn't need to prove anything, doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to have it all figured out. That part of you is whole, right now, as you are. So the overthinking, let it be there. Notice it, but don't believe everything it tells you. The self-doubt, let it be there. Notice it, but don't let it make your decisions. The fear, let it be there. Notice it, but don't let it keep you frozen. You don't have to fight these things. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to be perfect at managing them. You just have to see them, acknowledge them, and choose gently not to let them run your life. One small choice at a time. One imperfect action at a time. One messy, uncertain step at a time. Because that's all any of us can do. One step, not perfect, not certain, just one step. And maybe you won't take that step today. Maybe today is still a rest day, and that's okay too. But when you're ready, when something inside you shifts, remember this. Your worthiness doesn't depend on your productivity. Your value doesn't depend on your achievements. Your enoughness doesn't depend on anything you do or don't do. You are enough because you exist, because you're here, because you're trying, even when it's hard, even when you fall short, even when you don't meet your own expectations. Breathe with me, in and out. Let the chaos be there, but let yourself be there too, underneath it all, still whole enough. And now we need to talk about something that might be the heaviest thing you're carrying, heavier than the exhaustion, heavier than the doubt, the shame, that deep, quiet shame that you don't talk about, that you barely let yourself think about, that sits in your chest like a stone. Shame about things you've done, things you haven't done, things you said, things you didn't say, ways you've failed, ways you've hurt people, ways you've hurt yourself. Shame about who you were, who you are, who you're not, who you're afraid you'll always be. And maybe there are specific moments you keep replaying, moments that make you physically cringe when they surface, moments you wish you could undo, erase, take back. You lie awake remembering them. You feel that hot flush of embarrassment even years later. You think, how could I have done that? What was wrong with me? If people knew. And then comes the spiral. I'm a bad person. I'm irredeemable. I don't deserve good things. I don't deserve to be happy. Not after what I did. Not after who I was. Oh, sweetheart, you've been punishing yourself for so long, carrying this guilt like a life sentence, never letting yourself off the hook, never believing you've suffered enough to deserve forgiveness. You've apologized to others, or maybe you haven't had the chance. Or maybe they didn't accept it. But either way, you haven't forgiven yourself. And the truth is, some part of you doesn't want to. Some part of you believes that holding on to the shame is what makes you a good person. That if you let it go, you're saying what you did was okay. That you're letting yourself off too easy. So you keep it. You keep carrying it. You keep punishing yourself. Keeping yourself small. Keeping yourself from fully living. Because you believe, on some level, that this is what you deserve. But can I ask you something? What would you say to someone you love if they came to you carrying this same shame? If they told you about their mistakes, their regrets, their worst moments, would you tell them they're irredeemable? Would you tell them they deserve to suffer forever? Would you tell them they don't deserve happiness or peace? Or would you tell them you understand that people make mistakes, that they were doing the best they could with what they knew at the time, that they've grown since then, that they deserve compassion? So why are you holding yourself to a different standard? Why is everyone else allowed to be human, but you have to be perfect? Why does everyone else deserve grace, but you deserve punishment? Listen to me. You are not your worst moment. You are not your biggest mistake. You are not the thing you did that you wish you could undo. You are a whole person, a complex person, a person who has done good things and bad things, a person who has hurt others and helped others, a person who has failed and tried again. You are human, and humans mess up. Humans say things they don't mean. Humans act from pain and fear. Humans hurt people they love. Humans make choices they regret. This is not an excuse. It's not saying what you did was okay if it wasn't, but it's acknowledging that you are not defined by those moments. And here's something else, something important. You are not the same person you were when you made those mistakes. You've grown, you've learned, you've changed. The fact that you feel shame, the fact that you have regret, that shows you've evolved. That shows you understand now what you didn't understand then. The person who did those things, they don't exist anymore. They became you. And you carry the lessons. You carry the awareness. You carry the intention to do better. So maybe it's time to let the shame go. Not the lessons. Not the awareness. Not the commitment to do better. But the punishment. The constant reminder. The weight. Maybe it's time to forgive yourself. I know that feels impossible. I know it feels wrong. Like you don't deserve it. Like it's too soon. Like you haven't earned it yet. But forgiveness isn't it something you earn. It's something you choose. It's something you give to yourself. Because holding on to the shame isn't helping anyone. Not you. Not the people you hurt. Not the world. It's just keeping you stuck. Keeping you small. Keeping you from becoming the person you're capable of being. So right now, right here, can we start? Not all at once, not completely, just a little, just a crack in the door. Think of one thing you've been holding against yourself. One thing you keep punishing yourself for. Just one. And say this, even if you don't believe it yet, even if it feels false. Just say it. I forgive myself. Say it again. Feel how it sounds, how it sits in your chest. I forgive myself. And then add, I was doing the best I could, because you were in that moment, with what you knew, with the pain you were in, with the resources you had. You were doing the best you could. It may not have been enough. It may have hurt people. It may have been wrong. But it was your best at that time. And now your best is different, better, more aware. And that's growth. That's healing. And I need you to know something about healing. It's not linear. You're not going to forgive yourself once and be done. You're not going to let go of the shame and never feel it again. You're not going to heal in a straight line from broken to whole. Some days you'll feel lighter. Some days the shame will come flooding back. Some days you'll think you've moved past something, and then it'll hit you out of nowhere. And that's okay. That's normal. That's part of the process. Healing isn't about never feeling the pain again. It's about the pain not controlling you anymore. It's about being able to feel it, acknowledge it, and still choose to be gentle with yourself. You're going to have bad days. Days where you slip back into old patterns. Days where you're unkind to yourself. Days where the guilt overwhelms you again. And on those days, you don't start over. You don't lose all your progress. You just pause, breathe, remind yourself, and choose again. Choose forgiveness again. Choose gentleness again. Choose to let go again, as many times as it takes, because you deserve that. You deserve your own compassion. You deserve your own grace. You deserve to be held gently by yourself. Not because you're perfect, not because you've never done anything wrong, but because you're here, because you're trying, because you're doing the hard work of looking at yourself honestly and choosing to do better. So breathe with me. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine breathing out a little bit of that shame. Just a little. Just enough to feel lighter. You don't have to carry all of it. Not anymore. Not forever. You can put it down. One piece at a time. One breath at a time. One moment of self-forgiveness at a time. And every time it comes back, every time the guilt resurfaces, you can remind yourself, I am not my worst moment. I am not my mistakes. I am learning. I am growing. I am worthy of my own kindness. Say it with me if you can. I am worthy of my own kindness. Again, I am worthy of my own kindness. Yes, yes, you are. So here we are. We've acknowledged the exhaustion. We've looked at the chaos in our minds. We've started to release the the shame. And now there's this question. This big, heavy question that might be sitting in the space we've just cleared. Okay, but where do I go from here? Because you feel stuck, deeply stuck, like you're standing in the middle of your life and you can't see a way forward. You look at where you are and it's not where you thought you'd be. It's not where you wanted to be. And you're not sure how you got here or how to get out. Maybe you're in a job that drains you, but you don't know what else to do. Maybe you're in a relationship that's comfortable but hollow. Maybe you're in a city that doesn't feel like home. Maybe you're in a version of your life that you built for someone else's approval and now you're trapped in it. Or maybe it's not that anything is particularly wrong. It's just nothing feels right either. You're going through the motions. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. And somewhere in that routine, you lost something. You lost the spark, the excitement, the sense of possibility. You lost yourself. And the worst part, everyone else seems to have it figured out. Everyone else seems to know where they're going. They have plans, they have passion, they have purpose. And you're just here, existing, feeling like you're watching your own life happen to you instead of living it. You look at the calendar and can't believe how much time has passed. How did it become December already? How is it 2025? Where did the last year go? The last 5 years? And there's this panic that rises up. I'm running out of time. I'm behind. I should be further along. I should have done more. I should have become more. Everyone else is moving forward and you're stuck, frozen, paralyzed by the weight of all the choices you need to make but can't seem to make. Can I tell you something that might help? This feeling of being stuck, disconnected, behind, it's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you're at a threshold. You're at the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. And that space in between, it's uncomfortable, it's disorienting, it's supposed to be, because you're shedding an old version of yourself, an old life, old patterns, old beliefs, and you haven't fully stepped into the new one yet. So you're in this liminal space, this in-between, this cocoon, and it feels like being stuck because you can't go back to who you were, but you also can't see who you're becoming yet. And that feeling of being behind, of being late to your own life, that's not truth. That's comparison. That's measuring your messy, complex, real journey against someone else's highlight reel. Because here's what you don't see when you look at other people's lives. You don't see their doubt, their fear, their moments of feeling lost. You don't see the times they've started over, the times they've changed direction, the times they've had no idea what they were doing either. You just see the polished result, the confident facade, the I've got it all together performance. But nobody, and I mean nobody, has it all figured out. Nobody is exactly where they should be, because there is no should. There's just where you are right now. And where you are is not a failure. It's not a mistake. It's not proof that you're behind. It's just where you are on your timeline, in your process, living your specific, unrepeatable, valid life. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know it feels like you've wasted time, like you've made wrong turns, like if you had just made different choices, you'd be somewhere better now. But what if every detour, every wrong turn, every moment of being lost was actually leading you here, to this exact moment, this exact awareness, this exact readiness to change? What if you needed to go through everything you've gone through to become who you're becoming? What if being stuck is just being still, being in the pause before the next movement? You know what happens when you're truly stuck, when a door is locked and you can't get through. You find another door, or you create one, or you realize you don't need to go through that door at all. There's a window. There's a path you didn't see. There's a completely different direction. Being stuck isn't permanent unless you believe it is. So right now, instead of asking, why am I stuck? Or what's wrong with me? What if you asked different questions? What is this pause trying to teach me? What old pattern am I ready to let go of? What have I been tolerating that I don't want to tolerate anymore? What small thing could I do differently today? Because here's the truth about big life changes, about getting unstuck, about transformation. It doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen with one big dramatic decision. It doesn't happen because you suddenly have all the answers. It happens in small shifts, tiny adjustments, micro choices. It happens when you choose a different thought, when you try a different route home, when you say no to something you usually say yes to, when you say yes to something you usually avoid. It happens when you pick up a book that interests you, when you reach out to someone you've been thinking about, when you take 5 minutes to sit in silence and ask yourself, what do I actually want? It happens when you stop waiting for permission and give it to yourself. Stop waiting to feel ready and start before you're ready. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and work with this imperfect one. Small shifts, that's all. Not a complete life overhaul tomorrow. Just one small shift today. Maybe it's putting your phone down an hour earlier. Maybe it's going for a walk without listening to anything. Maybe it's saying what you really think instead of what you think you should say. Maybe it's applying for that thing even though you're scared. Maybe it's starting that project even though you don't know how it'll turn out. Maybe it's having that conversation even though it'll be uncomfortable. Or maybe the shift isn't external at all. Maybe it's internal. Maybe it's how you talk to yourself, how you view your situation, how you define success. Maybe you're not stuck in your life. Maybe you're stuck in your perspective about your life? What if, instead of seeing yourself as behind, you saw yourself as exactly on time for your journey? What if, instead of seeing this as wasted time, you saw it as necessary preparation? What if, instead of seeing yourself as lost, you saw yourself as exploring? Because explorers don't know where they're going. That's what makes it exploration. They don't have a map. They don't have certainty. They just have curiosity and courage to take the next step. And maybe that's what you need right now. Not a 5-year plan. Not a perfect vision. Not absolute certainty. Just curiosity about what could be different, and courage to take one small step toward it. So let me ask you something right now, in this moment. What's one thing you could do this week? Just one thing that would feel like movement, that would feel like choosing yourself, that would feel like a small act of honoring who you're becoming. Pause. Not a huge thing, not a life-changing thing, just one small thing. Maybe it's cleaning out a drawer. Maybe it's cancelling something you don't want to do. Maybe it's starting to look at new opportunities without committing to anything. Maybe it's just admitting to yourself what you really want, even if you're not ready to pursue it yet. One small thing. That's all you need to do. Just one small thing that says, I'm ready to move. Even if I don't know where I'm going, even if I'm scared, I'm ready to shift. Because you're not as stuck as you think you are. You're not as powerless as you feel. You're not as behind as you believe. You're just in between, in transition, in the process of becoming. And this feeling of disconnection is temporary. It's showing you that something needs to change. And change is possible. Change is always possible. Not easy. Not instant. Not without discomfort. But possible. So breathe with me. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let go of the pressure to have it all figured out. Let go of the need to make the perfect choice. Let go of comparing yourself to anyone else's timeline. You're not stuck forever. You're just pausing, gathering yourself, preparing for the next chapter. And when you're ready, when something inside you shifts, you'll take that first small step, and then another, and another. Not because you have all the answers, not because you're not afraid, but because you're choosing to trust that movement creates momentum, that action creates clarity, that trying creates possibility. You're not stuck, you're transforming, and transformation takes time, takes patience, takes trust. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be right now. Trust that this pause has purpose. Trust that when you're ready to move, you will. One breath at a time. One small shift at a time. One choice at a time. You've got this, even when it doesn't feel like it. You've got this,